My child, my beloved, do not turn away. This moment is heavier than it looks, not because disaster is chasing you, but because heaven is trying to shift your path, before you make a choice you can't undo. Archangel Michael steps forward, not with panic, but with a fierce steady light, and says, "Listen carefully, this message is not here to frighten you, it is here to awaken you." A strange pull brought you here, didn't it? That tightness in your chest, that sudden stillness around you, that whisper inside asking you to pay attention. That is not fear, that is recognition. Your spirit knows when something divine enters the room, Michael says. The heavens aren't trembling because tragedy is coming, they are trembling because your breakthrough is extremely close. And anything close to rising is always met with resistance. Heaven is not shouting your name out of danger, it is calling you because a turning point has arrived. Something in your atmosphere has been shifting, you felt it even if you couldn't describe it. Tiny changes in people's tones, unexpected silence, strange intuition at night. These were not coincidences, they were signals, they were preparations. Michael reveals this not as an emergency, but as a spiritual intervention. He says, what approaches you is not meant to destroy you, it is meant to redirect you. But if you ignore the nudge, you may walk into unnecessary pain. The message is not a threat, it's a shield, and heaven is placing that shield in your hands right now. Behind the scenes, choices are being made that could affect your peace, your stability, your emotional footing. Someone around you is acting from confusion, not malice, but their confusion can spill into your path if you walk blindly. Heaven saw the shift long before you sensed it. That's why the message arrived today, and not yesterday. Timing is divine. Michael says, stay still for a moment, let your spirit breathe, let your mind clear. Your emotions have been loud lately, anger sometimes rising, sadness sometimes lingering, irritation sometimes appearing without reason. You thought it was stress, but it was spiritual sensitivity. Your inner self was reacting to movements around you, that hadn't yet reached the surface. But listen closely. Not every movement is a threat, some movements are revelations. A truth is unfolding, something hidden is preparing to rise, not to hurt you, but to free you. Michael is not warning you to escape danger, he is guiding you to avoid an old cycle repeating itself. A cycle that once drained you, a cycle you promised yourself you would never return to. This message is a pause button from heaven. A moment to breathe, before the next chapter turns. You may soon notice small signs. A repeated name, a recurring number, a sudden dream that feels too real to ignore. These are not omens of disaster, they are signals of alignment. Markers on a spiritual map, leading you out of confusion, and into clarity. When these signs appear, don't panic, don't rush. Just pay attention, heaven is showing you what you once couldn't see. Michael says, let wisdom be your response, not fear. Do not confront anyone impulsively, do not jump into decisions because emotions are loud. Let things unfold, let the truth gather itself. Half-seen truth creates chaos, fully revealed truth creates freedom. If someone around you starts acting differently, colder, distant, restless, don't assume betrayal, Sometimes people retreat because they are fighting battles you don't know about. Sometimes their silence is their shield, not their weapon. Your job is not to chase clarity, but to wait for heaven's reveal. There is a blessing forming beneath the surface. A release, a quiet ending, that will make space for a profound beginning. Something you lost is circling back in a new form, something that hurt you is losing its power, something that confused you is nearing explanation. Michael whispers, protection comes in layers, spirit, intuition, timing, and restraint. This time heaven is guiding you differently, not with alarm, but with strategy. Not with fear, but with foresight. In the coming days, don't overshare your dreams. Don't reveal your next steps too quickly. Some people love you, but don't understand the weight of your calling. And their confusion could cloud your clarity. Protect your plans until they are rooted, guard your peace like a treasure. Because it is. A window is opening, a shift is arriving. And when it does, you will suddenly understand why you felt restless these past nights. Why sleep ran from you, why your mind kept circling the same thoughts. Heaven wasn't warning you of destruction, it was preparing you for elevation. You are not stepping into a trap, you are stepping into truth. And truth will not break you, it will build you. Michael says, tell them this. The turning point is closer than they think, not a tragedy, a transition. This is not the last warning, this is the first revelation. And more clarity is on its way. Your spirit asked for answers, heaven responded. Your soul cried for direction, heaven delivered. You are seen, you are held, you are guided. And as you move forward, keep your heart open, your words measured, and your intuition honored. Something powerful is aligning in your favor, even if the process feels unsettling. Trust what is shifting, you are not losing anything meant for you. You are stepping out of delay, and into destiny. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $10. Beloved, listen closely, because what comes next is not just instruction, it is a spiritual turning point. Not long prayers, not heavy words, just a yielded heart ready for clarity. Heaven leans close, as you whisper, Lord, cover my name, reveal the lies, guard what was placed in my hands. Michael nods with fierce gentleness, urging you toward simple obedience. These small acts of surrender will open doors your strength never could. But here's the hook, your fears are not weaknesses, they are indicators of what heaven is fiercely defending. Write down 3 things you fear losing. Then speak over each of them, as though your voice carries divine authority, because it does. The moment you pray specifically, the fog around your future begins to thin. Then choose one draining decision on your calendar, and remove it. That empty space is not a loss, it's the entry point for supernatural strategy. Yet here is the uncomfortable truth. Someone has been quietly draining your blessing, through a series of small compromises. Little yes you should have never given, small boundaries you let slide, because you didn't want to create conflict. Michael leans in and says, say no now. Say no to what steals your future. You were trained to make others comfortable, even when your spirit screamed for space. Tonight break that pattern, this is about reclaiming your inheritance, not maintaining shallow peace. You wonder, will I be alone if I pull away? That fear whispers loud, but heaven's answer is louder. No, you won't be abandoned. Heaven replaces everything you release with something aligned, not something convenient. Every door you close on what drains you, opens space for what renews you. Michael whispers, do not fear the empty space. God always fills what you empty in faith. Loss in the kingdom is not subtraction, it's transformation. Now breathe, because this next part matters. Your finances are woven into this warning, in ways you haven't noticed. Someone may try to shift paperwork, adjust property details, or redirect funds while you're distracted. You must be vigilant, double-check signatures, call the bank if something feels off. Heaven works through miracles and practical wisdom. Michael says protection is a partnership. God moves the unseen, while you guard the seen. And when truth begins to rise, resist the urge to expose everything publicly. Not every revelation needs an audience, Michael warns. Public exposure without prayer creates chaos. This is a time for strategic revelation, the kind that secures your name, protects your household, and closes every door the enemy hoped to slip through. Seek counsel from someone trustworthy, someone anchored in truth, not gossip. There will be moments when doubt tries to smother your clarity. Expect them. They're part of the battle. You'll hear the whisper, you imagined it, you're overreacting. But push back with remembrance, remember the nights you cried alone, remember the dreams that wouldn't release you, remember the signs you ignored before, and the price you paid. Those memories are your proof, heaven has been speaking to you longer than you realized. Prepare a safe place, physically and spiritually. It might be a second account, a locked drawer, or a friend who can hold your confidence. Or it might be a sacred daily space, where you sit before God, and let clarity rise. Safety is not just walls, it's a practiced rhythm of peace, that keeps you grounded when everything else shakes. And guard your mouth, bitterness is the enemy's favorite doorway. When your heart burns with anger, don't let poison slip into your words. Say instead, I release this to God, I will not become what tried to break me. Heaven honors those who refuse to let rage rewrite their character. Here's the promise, after the storm breaks, heaven restores more than was lost. The kingdom doesn't operate in minimum, it works in overflow. Exposure leads to correction, correction leads to restoration, and restoration leads to increase. Hold on to that truth, like a lifeline tied to your spirit. And here's the hook you didn't expect, you're still reading, still present, and that choice is shifting things in the unseen. Michael smiles when someone doesn't turn away, because endurance gives heaven permission to finish what it started. Your willingness to stay in the tension is the very thing that opens the way for divine intervention. If you're responsible for children or elders, become extra vigilant now. Guard their documents, watch the relationships around them, pray over their names, often. The enemy attacks through the vulnerable threads of your care, strengthen every thread with both prayer and action. Fear may rise, but let faith steer. Heaven doesn't ask for dramatic leaps, just steady steps. Michael instructs, when fear comes, move in small obediences, not frantic reactions. Do one thing today: call, verify, pray, secure, document. God does not bless panic, He blesses alignment. And when confrontation becomes necessary, do not accuse, question. Questions reveal truth, questions disarm deception, questions shine light into shadows, without giving the enemy room to twist your words. Watch closely for unexpected allies. Someone quiet, someone overlooked, someone ordinary, will bring you a piece of the puzzle. Evidence, a word, a warning, a confirmation. Don't reject the help, because the messenger seems unlikely. Heaven often sends wisdom through unexpected hands. Understand this clearly: this emergency is also an invitation. A spiritual awakening disguised as pressure. Pain shakes the soul awake in ways comfort never could. Choose clarity over despair. Ask God for wisdom that smells like heaven, and sounds like peace. That wisdom will be your compass. Michael gives one final instruction: guard your words until the map is clear. Your story doesn't need to be scattered before it's complete. Hold the core close, share only with trusted counsel. Divine timing reveals the full picture, exactly when you need it. And if isolation tries to wrap around you, don't let it tighten. Reach out to someone wise, a pastor, a friend with spiritual grounding, someone legally sound, who walks with God. You are not meant to fight alone. Heaven assigns allies when you ask. Now breathe deeply, and speak this aloud. Heaven expose the hidden, protect the innocent, make the path clear. Say it 3 times, let your breath carry the declaration into the unseen. Your voice has weight in the spiritual realm. Expect a shift within 72 hours. It might be a message, a document, a sudden change in someone's behavior, or a moment of clarity so sharp, it feels like light cracking through your mind. And when it comes, you'll know. And when the shift finally arrives, do not let fear take the controller of your mind. Michael stands firm beside you, reminding your spirit to translate each moment into wisdom, not panic. Heaven never asks you to sprint in confusion, it asks you to walk steadily in clarity. And clarity becomes loud, when fear becomes quiet. But here's the deeper truth: what you fear will not touch you if you stay aligned. The tragedy was never meant to strike the obedient. Heaven sent this warning, so you could guard what matters, before anything reached your door. If you respond in wisdom, the tears that were waiting for you will dry before they ever fall. You will not collapse, you will stand, and watch God rearrange every broken piece into protection. Feel this: Michael lowering his sword is not surrender, it is preparation to bless. His stance shifts, not because danger is gone, but because heaven has secured the higher ground. God leans forward, extending his hand, offering protection, insight, and restoration. Do not close this message until you whisper, "I receive it, I will act in wisdom and faith." Your voice seals the alignment. And now comes a revelation, reserved only for those who stay. You're still here, which means heaven has marked you as someone capable of carrying the full truth. Michael says, most turn away, most ignore the call. But this one remained, and because they remained, the secrets can now be revealed. Listen carefully, because the moment you chose to listen, something began to crumble in the unseen. Papers drafted in shadows, conversations whispered behind your back, attempts to shift what belongs to you, all of it began to unravel. The second your spirit said yes to heaven. But stay alert, the enemy strikes hardest when time is running out. You've asked yourself, why is my road always the hardest? Here is the answer, few ever receive. Your destiny carries weight, the brightness of your future threatens the darkness around you. Your name carries a frequency, the enemy cannot mute. This is why storms followed you, not to destroy you, but to reveal your strength, and to position you where heaven needed you. Michael declares with thunder, the storm was not punishment, it was preparation. You were being refined, set apart, shaped like gold in the fire. Do you see now, why you survived situations that crushed others, why you walked through battles that should have broken you? Because your calling refused to die, and God refused to let your destiny be buried under smoke. And now the doors opening for you will not look ordinary, they will look divine. They may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable, but they carry supernatural peace. Michael says, do not hesitate when the opportunity comes. If your spirit feels peace, even if your mind questions, step through. Heaven rarely wraps miracles in packaging you expect. Here is the turning point, your enemies miscalculated you. They assumed you would stay blind, ignore your intuition, keep doubting your discernment, and walk in circles. But tonight the veil broke, tonight your spiritual senses woke up. From this moment forward, nothing hidden will remain hidden from you. Exposure will become your ally, not your enemy. Every concealed motive will rise, secret plans will surface like smoke escaping a fire. Exposure is not heaven humiliating you, it is heaven liberating you. It cuts off dead weight, reveals false connections, and sharpens your focus. Michael speaks again, exposure is mercy. Do not fear what comes to light. Because after exposure comes explosion, an explosion of blessings, opportunities, restoration, and clarity that flows in waves, not drops. Yet even in this awakening, doubt tries to whisper. What if I misunderstood, what if I'm wrong? But why then does your heartbeat quicken, why do tears rise without reason? Because your soul recognizes the voice of heaven, it is the same voice that pulled you out of past storms, the same voice that never let you drown. And the fact that you are still reading, sets you apart. Most people leave before the truth completes itself, you stayed. And because you stayed, heaven can deliver the warning, and the promise. Here is the warning. Someone in your circle envies your light. They will try to push you toward decisions that favor them, not you. Do not sign anything quickly, do not agree under pressure. Michael says, even a one-day delay can save them from years of regret. Pause, pray, let discernment, not fear or urgency, make the choice. And now the promise, your pain is transforming into power. The very wound you thought ruined you, is becoming the birthplace of your miracle. God has hidden blessings in the cracks of your sorrow, and now they are bursting forth, financially, emotionally, relationally, spiritually. Restoration is not dripping, it is flooding. Watch for immediate signs. An unexpected message, a sudden opportunity, a strange moment of clarity, forgotten blessings returning. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. Michael says, when the first sign appears, whisper thank you. Gratitude multiplies what heaven sends. This entire emergency was never about fear, it was about awakening you. You were drifting too close to the trap, and heaven shook you awake. And because you stayed, the trap is collapsing beneath its own weight. Heaven is rerouting your story. Michael's sword is raised, not against you, but against everything that dared to rise against your destiny. Do not fear now, you've already been delivered from what you could not see. Now your task is to prepare to receive what you did not expect. Your tragedy is turning into testimony, your emergency is turning into evidence, your warning is turning into rescue. And beloved, do not look away now, because you are in the center of a holy alarm. Michael's voice echoes across realms, calling your name. He says, tell them the clock is almost finished, tell them they must not miss one more word, their future depends on this. Do you feel it, that strange pressure in your chest? It's not fear, it's recognition, something inside you already knows, heaven is getting ready to reveal the next piece. And when you hear it, do not let your spirit fall into fear, let it rise into clarity. This revelation won't come to crush you, it will come to confirm what heaven has been whispering all along. That invisible pull in your soul, the pressure tightening in your chest, none of it is fear. It is your spirit waking up, stretching after years of being silenced, realizing the truth was always closer than the lies that tried to blind you. Beloved, this heaviness is not a burden, it is exposure. Heaven is pulling back the curtain, hidden conversations spoken behind your back, agreements formed without your consent, decisions made in shadows meant to redirect your future. All of it is being dragged into the light. The enemy hoped you would stay blind, but God said, not this time, not my child. The veil is tearing, and the truth is rising like a sun no one can stop. You ask why betrayal keeps following you, and heaven answers with fierce tenderness. Your light reveals what darkness cannot hide, your purpose threatens everything built on deceit, your presence exposes masks people hoped you'd never see through. Their betrayal is not your breaking point, it is your unveiling. Every knife in your back is turning into a key in your hand, unlocking doors the enemy tried to seal. Michael declares with fire, what was stolen will return, what was delayed will be released, what was broken will be restored. But only if you stay, only if you absorb this truth, only if you refuse to walk away before the revelation completes itself. This message is not just warning, it is prophecy, stretching forward into your future. The enemy has whispered lies into your mind for too long, you're too late, you're alone, no one stands with you. But heaven laughs at those lies, God says, I am your defender, I am your shield. Even if every voice turns against you, I stand for you. You are not late, you are perfectly on time, standing at the threshold of a breakthrough that needed this exposure to unlock itself. Child, heaven has recorded every silent tear. The nights where you held yourself together while your heart cracked, the days where you carried burdens no one saw, the strength you gave others while having no one to hold you. None of it went unnoticed. Tonight your endurance is being written as testimony. This is why your blessing can no longer be delayed. Listen carefully, your sign is coming within 7 days. It might be a dream that feels too real, a number repeating everywhere you look, or a name that keeps echoing in your mind. Whatever it is, take it seriously. That sign is heaven's stamp of confirmation, the key that unlocks your next season. And now heaven exposes what was hidden in the natural. There is money tied to your name, property connected to your family, inheritance someone tried to hide or reroute. Michael has already seen the documents, the signatures, the concealed agreements. But God has declared, enough. What belongs to you will return to you. No thief can keep it, no manipulator can block it. And the fact that you are still here, beloved, that is power. Most people would have turned away, too afraid to face the truth. But you stayed, and because you stayed, heaven says you are ready for the deeper revelation. Here is the truth, your obedience has shifted the timeline. The tragedy forming against you has weakened, the trap planned for you has already begun to break. Your endurance summoned angels to the battlefield. By staying, you're not just surviving, you're rewriting what the enemy hoped would happen. Do not fear the storm that still swirls around you. The storm is not proof of failure, it is proof of breakthrough. The enemy thrashes hardest when their time is short, but Michael's sword is drawn, the angels are in formation, God's hand is covering your head. You will not drown, you will not break, you will rise. Remember this, darkness feels strongest right before dawn. And beloved, you are minutes from dawn. The miracle is closer than the fear that chases you. Do not step back now, this is the moment heaven begins rewriting the ending that others tried to control. And the fact that you are still reading this is divine. Michael says, every second they remain the tragedy weakens, every line they read the miracle strengthens. Your presence here is not random, your soul was summoned into this moment, heaven is watching with fire in its eyes. And now the angels whisper, stay, don't leave before the final word. Because the last word carries the key. There is someone near you whose heart carries bitterness toward your success. They smile at you, but inside they resent your strength. They have spoken against you in secret, they've tried to delay you more than once. Michael has watched every whisper, and he now declares, their time is finished, their mask is slipping, their schemes will collapse before their eyes. This is why your spirit felt restless. You sensed it, you felt the shift, something inside you kept saying, something is wrong, even when everyone acted normal. That wasn't anxiety, it was heaven's alarm system ringing inside your chest. Tonight that alarm reaches its peak. The lie is finished, the truth is rising, your spirit is awakening to everything your mind could not see. Hear this, the tragedy that threatened you was tied to deception. Someone thought they could erase you quietly, move behind your back, shift what belonged to you, hide what heaven assigned to your name. But the moment Michael shouted your name before the throne, God responded with, protect them, deliver them, reveal what was hidden. That is why this entire message reached you, it is rescue not coincidence. And now comes the final turning point. In the coming days, you will overhear a conversation you weren't meant to hear. It might be in the next room, outside a door, on a call, or whispered when someone thinks you're not listening. It will shock you, but do not dismiss it. That is the revelation, that is the moment heaven shows you exactly who was moving against you and why. And when you hear it, your spirit will know the truth has finally risen. And beloved, this warning is the rescue, because heaven refused to let you fall into a trap you never saw coming. When God says be still, it is not a command to freeze, it is a strategy. So when the revelation comes, when you overhear that conversation, do not interrupt, do not rush, simply observe. That moment will be the proof you prayed for, the confirmation your spirit has been aching to see. But here's the deeper truth: God is not only exposing deception, He is restoring inheritance. There is something tied to your bloodline, something sacred, meant to pass into your hands, but someone tried to divert it. They believed you would remain blind forever, but heaven speaks with finality: it is sealed, it is theirs, no hand can steal what I have written. And that sudden fire you feel rising inside you right now, that is no accident. That is confirmation, that is heaven clothing you with armor, that is Michael placing his hand on your shoulder, whispering, you are not weak, you are not alone, you are chosen. And chosen ones always rise. The fact that you are still here proves something powerful: your spirit can carry the fullness of this revelation. Most people run when the truth becomes heavy, but you remained. Michael smiles, because only the steadfast can receive the deeper unveiling. He says, now I can show them what others never see. This next truth will shake you. What threatened you was not just about your life, it targeted your whole bloodline. A generational pattern, the same betrayals, the same losses, the same cycles repeating through your lineage, tried to anchor itself to you. But because you listened, because you stayed, that pattern breaks tonight. It ends with you: it will not touch your children, it will not return. The chain is shattered. Feel this: your body is lighter because the curse has been lifted. Your spirit is weeping because freedom has entered your atmosphere. Michael raises his sword and declares, the next 7 years are sealed in blessing, not sorrow. The enemy's handwriting has been wiped away, and the only name written now is the one God gave you. Now watch closely, because within the next 14 days doors will open that will shock you. A call you waited years for, an invitation you stopped expecting, an opportunity you thought died long ago, it will return. But this time it will not slip away, this time it belongs to you. Yet heaven gives you a crucial warning: protect your heart. Do not reveal your plans too quickly, not everyone who claps for you wants you to win. Guard your dreams until they are rooted, let your success speak while your silence shields you. Michael whispers, what many never learn. Silence is your shield, discernment is your weapon, wisdom is your crown. Your elevation will require a quiet spirit and a sharp ear. Loose lips could leak what heaven is building, so hold your victories close until they are complete. And now God leans closer, speaking to the place inside you that's been bruised by delay. He says, you thought you were forgotten, but I never left you. I made you wait, because what I prepared was bigger than what you asked for. The blessing is greater than your imagination, the miracle is closer than breath. But heaven is not done, there is a secret that changes everything, and you cannot turn away yet. Michael presses this truth into your spirit with urgency, saying, "Tell them if they close their eyes now, they will miss the revelation that unlocks their destiny." The final pages hold the answers your soul has been crying for. And beloved, the trembling you feel is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit remembers promises spoken over you before you were even born. Those promises are waking up. You are standing at the edge of destiny, the moment where your story shifts from wounded to warrior. Let me show you what Michael is showing. There is a shadow in your circle. Someone has been smiling at you with false love, their lips speak kindness, but their heart whispers curses. They delayed you, blocked opportunities, spread doubt when you weren't present. But heaven says, enough. Their mask is slipping. You felt it, you sensed the shift, and you doubted yourself. You said, maybe I'm imagining it, maybe I'm overthinking. But no, what you felt was discernment. Heaven placed the warning inside you. Tonight confirmation lands in your spirit like lightning. Michael declares with authority, do not fight them in flesh. Do not waste your strength battling shadows. Heaven will fight for you, Michael will expose them with their own words. You don't have to prove your truth, truth proves itself. Lies collapse under their own weight. Understand this clearly, the tragedy forming against you was never random. It was timed, strategic, designed to break you at the exact moment your blessing was about to manifest. But heaven interrupted, that's why this message reached you. Not as coincidence, but as rescue. And beloved, this rescue has one final chapter. Listen closely. The conversation you overhear in the coming days will reveal the whole truth. It will confirm every feeling, every suspicion, every uneasy thought you carried. That moment is not for panic, it is for positioning. Heaven is aligning the final piece. When it happens, do not fear, stand still. Because that moment is where your victory becomes undeniable. That moment is where heaven says, now the healing begins. My child, breathe now. Because the moment you feel rising inside you is not fear, it is awakening. It is the deep place within you remembering that your name carries a purpose no circumstance can silence. When heaven whispers I will not let them erase you, it is not about an outside threat. It is about the inner truth that no opinion, no doubt, no shadow can dim the identity you were born with. Even now your spirit is gathering strength around the places where you once felt weak. Renewing the boundaries of your peace, your worth, your clarity. The parts of you that were scattered are coming back home. You are stepping into a season of reversals, internal, emotional, spiritual reversals. Moments where what once felt heavy will begin to lift. The restoration approaching you is not about gaining what was taken, it is about rediscovering what was always yours on the inside. Confidence, courage, direction, confidence you abandoned because pain taught you to shrink. Now those parts are rising again. And Michael whispers as a metaphor of inner strength, they will not recognize who they become after this renewal. The peace will feel unreal, because you forgot what true peace tasted like. The joy will feel supernatural, because it will come from places you never expected. Pause and feel this. How long have you carried quiet weight? How many nights have you whispered into your pillow, when will I feel whole again? That chapter is closing now, not because life suddenly changes, but because your heart is shifting. You are awakening to a strength that has been building quietly behind your ribs. The dawn breaking is not outside of you, it is inside. Your name is rising again, because your identity is being rewritten, not by circumstance, but by truth. The fact that you are still reading, shows your soul is ready to receive what many never reach. Michael smiles in this metaphorical vision of awakening, because endurance always unlocks deeper clarity. And the inheritance being revealed to you is not material, though opportunities will come in their time. The real inheritance is presence, a presence within yourself so strong that rooms will feel different when you walk in. A presence of clarity so sharp that you will recognize alignment instantly. A presence of inner authority that softens chaos the moment you breathe. God whispers metaphorically, you will not feel empty again. Not because everything is perfect, but because you are learning to draw from a deeper well within you. A well that was always there but buried under years of exhaustion. You will rise, he says, not as a prediction, but as a promise of inner transformation taking place right now. And when Michael declares, this is sealed, it is a poetic way of saying that what is awakening inside you cannot be undone. Once clarity arrives, it cannot be unseen. Once truth rises, it cannot be silenced. Once identity awakens, it cannot be erased. Your future is secure, not because the world changes, but because you are changing. This moment right now, is the line in time where your inner story shifts. The trembling in your soul is not fear, it is recognition. It is the deep memory of who you were always meant to become. Your spirit is remembering promises you made to yourself long before heartbreak tried to rewrite them. Those promises are rising like sparks in your chest. Let me show you what this metaphor means. The tragedy that tried to form was never an outside threat. It was the quiet inner voice that said you weren't enough, the self-doubt that tried to silence your voice, the discouragement that tried to break your momentum. Those shadows tried to bury your gift, your light, your ability to lift others. But they failed. You are awake now, you are aware, you are standing on the edge of your purpose with eyes wide open. God breathes into the parts of you that felt dead, reviving dreams you almost gave up on. What looked finished inside you is rising again, not magically, but through the power of awareness, healing, and clarity. Every delay becomes preparation, every rejection becomes redirection, every closed door becomes protection. Nothing was wasted, nothing was lost, everything is being repurposed into strength. Michael speaks as a symbol of courage. The one they least expect will speak their name with favor. This means opportunities will rise from unexpected places, support will arrive from unlikely voices. Where you were once overlooked, you will now be seen. Not because the world changed, but because you changed. You walk differently now, you speak differently now, you carry a grounded confidence that others can feel. Remember the nights you nearly quit, the days you almost collapsed under the weight of your own thoughts. Yet here you are, still breathing, still fighting, still carrying a spark no storm could drown. That spark is not small, it is the seed of your next season. It is the fire waiting to become flame again. But hear this warning, do not return to what drained you. Do not step back into environments that silenced you. Do not give your heart to patterns that broke you. Returning to the old will delay the new. Clinging to what once hurt you will block what is trying to heal you. You must release the old chapter, so the next one can begin. Beloved, this season is not about survival anymore. It is about overflow. You are not being saved from danger, your spirit is being positioned for purpose. You will rise, and others will rise because of you. Your healing will create healing in others. Your clarity will illuminate someone else's darkness. Your journey becomes evidence that transformation is possible. Good, you are still here. Do you know what that means? It means you crossed the threshold most people never reach. It means your endurance unlocked a new level of awareness. It means heaven metaphorically places the final scroll in your hands. And the scroll says this: the next 14 days are sacred, not because events will magically appear, but because you will begin seeing signs of your own growth everywhere. Patterns breaking, clarity sharpening, intuition strengthening, synchronicities appearing. Not supernatural predictions, simply the natural response of an awakened spirit. God whispers, "Do not fear what comes next, I have walked ahead of you." Every trap was mental, and clarity has scattered it. Every blessing was internal, and awareness has unlocked it. Your tomorrow will not resemble your yesterday, because you are not the same person you were then. Do you hear it now? The tragedy has lost its symbolism. The inheritance is rising within you. The miracle is your transformation. And the name you thought was fading, is shining again inside your own heart. Michael whispers metaphorically, "This is finished, this is sealed, this is done." Not because of belief alone, but because you finally stayed long enough to awaken to yourself.